Hello and welcome back to your South King County Real Estate Update. Today is January 27th, 2023, and I am back to deliver your local real estate news for the week. I'll go ahead and jump right on into these slides. So my name is Sarah Eggleston with Stone Egg Realty at John L. Scott, and this is your local news for the week. I'm super excited. I just needed to share this. I get to go to my first Kraken game tonight, so I got my hoodie on, and I am super excited to see them take on Calgary tonight live. And I'm just so excited about this. So the distribution of this on other channels other than Facebook will happen tomorrow, just because time will be limited this evening. So what happened this week? So this week, I am super excited to announce I finally got all the details in place to announce my next home buyer class, which is one I am super passionate about. It is up on Facebook, but you got to register on Eventbrite to secure your spot. This is an in-person one at the end of February, the last Monday in February, the 27th, I think. Yeah. And it is about the 203K rehab loan. And this is the loan that I used to purchase my house. My husband and I went through this process just over a year ago. We were kind of wrapping up a lot of the details, and I'm so excited to share all the things we learned in the process. This is a loan product that is a really underutilized loan product. So I am so excited. It's going to be at Brewmaster's Tap Room in Renton. So it's going to be at a really awesome location with, just secure your spot today. And I will bring up check the link below after. If you're on Facebook, it'll be in the description afterwards. Otherwise, it'll be in my bio or in the description below this. But I will share my screen again. So this is that class, new class announced, the renovation loan workshop, February 27th at 6 p.m. at Brewmaster's Tap Room. If you scan that QR code, it'll take you to the Eventbrite registration page. I can't express how excited I am about this class. Okay, I'll move on now. So news, what's happening in the news? There's been a lot of scary headlines about U.S. foreclosure filings, which, last year sometime, I said a few times throughout last year that this was a headline that was coming our way. Foreclosure filings up 115% in the past year. But you have to remember that we had a foreclosure moratorium for a certain period of time. So Atom, the leading curator of real estate data nationwide for land and property data, today released its year-end 2022 U.S. foreclosure market report, which shows foreclosure filings, default notices, scheduled auctions, and bank repossessions were reported on 324,237 U.S. properties in 2022, up 115% from 2021, but down 34% from 2019, before the pandemic shook up the market. Foreclosure filings in 2022 were also down 89% from a peak of nearly 2.9 million in 2010. If we look at that on a visual basis, for foreclosure activity, yes, we are significantly higher than we were in 2020 or 2021 when we had a foreclosure moratorium and people could not be foreclosed on. So now that moratorium is 18 months nationally ended, you can see that we are really below our average, and it is nothing like 2008, 2009. That is not the setup that we are headed for this time around. People have equity in their homes. If they really get in trouble, they're going to sell their house, not be foreclosed on. We would have had a lot more foreclosures the last couple years if we hadn't had the moratorium in place, and we're far below what the average was from 2017 to 2019. So I did like this quote. The bottom line is that there will be an increase in foreclosures over the next year from record low levels, but there will not be a huge wave of distressed property sales as happened following the housing bubble. The distressed sales during the housing bust led to cascading price declines, and that will not happen this time. And that brings us to our market stat minute. In the last 7 days in King County, we had 441 new listings, 652 pendings, and 263 sold. So if we zoom in, we did tick up in pendings, but are maintaining on the other two stats. And for our local area breakdowns, we had a pretty few listings coming to the market in Auburn compared to the rest of the region. Otherwise, we had there's more pendings than new listings in all the areas, but we are not creating as big of a gap as we were on inventory heading into the next, as we were in like November, December. And last week, our weekly average mortgage rate was 6.15. Our daily was also 6.15. This week, our weekly average mortgage rate is 6.13. So coming down on that weekly average mortgage rate. I did want to pull attention to this. The National Association of Realtors said last week that existing U.S. home sales totaled 5.03 million last year and a 17.8 decline from 2021. That brought a lot of scary headlines as well. Existing home sales fall for the 11th consecutive month. Yes, this is true, but this is pending sales year over year. So we're comparing to a year ago. U.S. home sales overall are down this year, and you can see that is true across the nation. Here in the West, we have dropped off pretty significantly from year over year. However, we have increased month over month. So since last month, we did increase 2.5%. So that is suggesting that we are seasonally, this is what we would expect seasonally, headed into January with a more positive pending rate than we have seen for the last couple of months. So we're headed in the right direction. It's just not where we were a year ago. So here's that chart on a line basis. And here in the West, we're the light blue, so we're down here. We have come down quite a bit, but we are starting to tick back up, and I expect that trend to continue heading into the spring and summer of this year. And for anybody who thinks that the market has just totally stopped, there's over 11,000 homes that sell every day in the nation, and 8 homes sell every minute nationwide. So the market is still happening. Homes are still selling. It's just not quite at the rate that it once was. And I'll wrap up this little section with a quote from Lawrence Yoon from National Association of Realtors. December was another difficult month for buyers who continue to face limited inventory and high mortgage rates. However, expect sales to pick up again soon, since mortgage rates have markedly declined after peaking late last year. And if we look at our daily interest rate, it is a little bit higher than it was last week on our daily interest rate, but we're expecting to see fluctuations up and down day to day as seen here. So Mortgage News Daily is a daily report for mortgage rates. So that has a lot more data points. The Freddie Mac, which is the weekly average rate that we follow, is the orange line. And you can see that we did pop up above what that weekly average mortgage rate was. But overall, we have been in a downward trend since November. And thank you to everyone who came out to my class this past week, the Buy Now, Refi Later. It was so fun. This was a great class. If you have any questions about it and missed it, just reach out and ask. But here are my 2 upcoming classes. February 7th, I have a class for nurses, teachers, first responders. There's a few different categories that qualify for that STAR loan. So we will take a look at that loan, give a market update, and then at the end of the month, February 27th, is that renovation loan workshop that I am so excited about in person at Brewmaster's Tap Room in Renton. And this is your chance. Not very many people have been through this process, especially a real estate agent who was also the purchaser. I don't think I've met any other real estate agents who purchased their own personal home this way. So I have a very intimate knowledge with this loan type and the process, and it's quite a process. So I learned a lot along the way, and I'm excited to share that with you. Make sure to register. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My phone number and email address are on the screen there. I would love to have a conversation with you about the real estate market in your area, my upcoming classes, anything. Yeah, just reach out with whatever your real estate related questions are, and we'll get that conversation started. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back here next Friday at 3 p.m. with your local real estate update. And I hope you have a fantastic week. Tonight, go Kraken at my first in-person game. Cannot wait. And I will see you next Friday. Have a great week.